So up next, we want to bring up Rena from the NYU Law School to talk a little bit about the experience organizing for Palestine on college campuses.
Thank you. Rena. Yes, Rena.
Hi, y'all.
Hello.
My name is Rena Workman, and I'm a law student. I am speaking to you today because we must not only bear witness to the suffering of Palestinians at the hands of the genocidal Israeli government, but we also must continue to use our platforms and our voices to speak out and show up. On October 10th, I sent a message to my fellow law students expressing my unwavering and absolute solidarity with Palestinians in their resistance against oppression and their struggle towards liberation and self-determination. I continue to remain steadfast in that solidarity, regardless of the personal consequences. I intended to call attention to the lack of coverage about Palestinians and to the humanitarian crisis in Gaza, a crisis that has only escalated exponentially since I sent that email on Tuesday, October 10th. I intended to contextualize the violence of October 7th within the broader 75-year history of systemic oppression. Many claims have been made that I celebrate violence against Israeli civilians, but these claims are antithetical to who I am and the values that I hold. I am in solidarity with Palestinians in the face of oppression because of those same values. My morals and principles demand it. It is for these reasons that I still condemn the violence of apartheid. I still condemn the violence of settler-colonialism. I still condemn the violence of military occupation. I condemn the violence of dispossession and stolen homes. I condemn the violence of collective punishment. I still condemn the violence of phosphorus bombs. I still condemn the violence of the United States military-industrial complex. And I condemn the violence in removing historical context.
Yeah.
I also, as a student, I have to condemn censorship. I condemn institutional retaliation for speaking up for human rights, and I condemn white supremacy in all of its manifestations, including anti-blackness, anti-Semitism, Islamophobia, queerphobia, and xenophobia, because the truth is, none of us can be free until everybody is free. In the past month, I've been removed as student body president, alumni campaigned for my expulsion from law school. The firm that I had lined up to work after graduation revoked my job offer. And I have been getting continuous and unrelenting death threats online. The harassment campaign against me has targeted all facets of my identity, the fact that I am black, the fact that I am queer, and the fact that I am non-binary. But this attention on one student's email to their fellow law students is entirely misplaced and a dangerous distraction, because we must stay focused on what really matters, and that is doing all we can to prevent furthering the genocide of Palestinians. We must demand a full ceasefire and the provision of safe, secure, and timely delivery of humanitarian assistance to the affected population inside Gaza Strip. Further, we must call on the United States to end all military aid to Israel and work towards complete Palestinian liberation. To the students here today and all of those who may be afraid to speak up given the repression that we're seeing across the United States, as the media continues to make their stance on genocide clear, it is our duty to make our voices heard. Your fear should not define you. Your employment should not define you. Do not let them scare you into silence. Palestinians are asking us to speak up, and if the media is committed to their genocidal narrative, then we must be committed to speaking out against that genocide. I want to end with the words of Saul Williams and his pledge of resistance. We believe that as people living in the United States, it is our responsibility to resist the injustices done by our government in our names. Not in our name will you wage endless war. There can be no more deaths, no more transfusions of blood or oil. Not in our name will you invade countries, bomb civilians, kill more children, letting history take its course over the graves of the nameless. Not in our name will you erode the very freedoms you have claimed to fight for. Not by our hands will we supply weapons and funding for the annihilation of families on foreign soil. Not by our mouths will we let fear silence us. Not by our hearts will we allow whole peoples or countries to be deemed evil. Not by our will and not in our name. We pledge resistance, we pledge alliance with those who have come under attack for voicing opposition to the war for their religion or ethnicity. We pledge to make common cause with the people of the world, to bring about justice, freedom, and peace. Another world is possible, and we pledge to make it real. Palestine will be free within our lifetime.
Free!
Israel bombs, USA pays. How many kids did you kill today? Israel bombs, USA pays. How many kids did you kill today? Israel bombs, USA pays. How many kids did you kill today? Israel bombs, USA pays. How many kids did you kill today? Woo! All right, next up, I want to invite Sarah Flounders from Workers' World and International Action Center. She recently just came back from Egypt, the Rafah crossing, in an attempt to get much needed medical and food supplies over to Gaza. I'll turn it over to Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Sarah! No justice, no peace.
No justice, no peace.
No justice,
No peace.
From the river to the sea, Palestine
will be free.
I want to congratulate, and that shows the sentiment all across this country. A majority of the people today in the U.S., isn't that a shock, stand for Palestine. That is a real change, and it shows that Zionism is not invincible. And it can and will and is being challenged. It's being challenged by resistance at a terrible, terrible toll in Gaza today. I really want to congratulate the Bronx Anti-War Coalition and everyone who came out here today for reviving and raising up the fundamental challenge to Zionism, of really raising what are we fighting for and what are the Palestinians fighting for. A right to their own land, a right to all of Palestine from the river to the sea.
That's right.
And who is the main supporter of Zionism? Who is a backer of Zionism from the beginning? We could look at 75 years ago and longer. It's U.S. imperialism, it's British imperialism. Zionism couldn't exist 1 minute, not 1 day, without that endless stream of money, of weapons, of U.S. support. Now you really, it's 75 years, and for the last 16 years, Gaza has been under complete U.S. sanctions, U.S. and Israeli sanctions, but it's U.S. sanctions that block everything. Now, I'm just back from Cairo, where we attempted with an international delegation to highlight this problem of Rafah. Who is it who blocks aid going through to Gaza? Who is it who blocks it? It's both Israel and the U.S. Ever since the Camp David Accords, Egypt has no control over its own borders. That's decided. Every truck that goes through is decided, controlled by Israel, by the Zionists, and by U.S. imperialism. That lack of sovereignty, even of Egypt, of course, all the Palestinian people. From the beginning, Palestine's rights were stolen because U.S. imperialism needed a dagger, a knife, against all of the Arab people, a way of controlling and dividing that unsinkable aircraft carrier, as they call it. A state constantly making war on all the surrounding people and creating division. Now, we weren't allowed to go through to Rafah. Actually, we were stopped, we were arrested. Things got pretty difficult. But at the same time, if you would follow the Egyptian media, it looks like trucks are going every day. And yet, for miles, they stretch, blocked at the Rafah border. Tons and tons of people. And in the meantime, what do the Israelis respond? They announce no food, no water, no electricity, no medicine. And then they bomb the hospitals. bomb every single center and school. This is a crime. This is a crime against humanity, a war crime, absolutely, but the entire state is a crime. That's what we have to know. Where does this come from? This is not self-defense. No, this is settler state colonialism. This is apartheid. Unless we call it, unless we say what it is, unless we defend the right of the Palestinian people to resist. We're right across from the UN, who has affirmed the right to resist colonial occupation again and again. Who blocks from the General Assembly, who blocks in the Security Council any resolution, any solution? It's U.S. imperialism again and again, sending more weapons. So we got a big enemy to fight, but we got to know that the whole world stands with us, and the very creation of Israel is what is now being challenged around the world. All of you here who've made this courageous challenge, who really said, let's look at the fundamental issue. A ceasefire isn't enough. The end of Israel, really a democratic state, the right of the Palestinian people to all the state, from the river to the sea, for all the people. That is what is at stake. It's what's being fought for. It's what people are dying for today in Gaza. So that's where we're here to support the resistance, but also to challenge the very state itself that has created endless war. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free.
Yeah. Thank you very much.
Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. From the river to the sea, Palestine